My name is Scott Buxton, 2001, Mr. Ohio. I'm a Ren Minion. Get off the bench.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ren Men Show, episode 46, live from a parking lot.
Woo! On today's episode, it's the Bod Pod Take 2. Nanu. Is that what it is? I don't know what it is. Nanu.
It's going to be that.
It's Mork and Mindy. Mork from York, Mork from Ork. I don't even know what it is, but we're headed back into the Bod Pod. It's like a second home. Join us. What is this egg-looking thing? If you're joining us for the first time, it's called a Bod Pod. How did we get here, Al?
Not very carefully, that is, for sure. We meet again, my friend.
Like being idiots. That's how we got here.
A couple bottles of wine, maybe? Let's start off there.
First of the year, we were sitting around with friends on a couch having a lovely chat about what our goals for 2011 were going to be.
Yeah.
And in the moment,
Sure.
bravado, ego,
Dumbness.
vino, all got to the better part of our judgments, and we made a wager. We made a wager with one another and with ourselves that we would each get to 10% body fat, or we have to write a $15,000 check to charity.
Right, and the reason we came to 10% was I was starting to work out at the time again, and I was testing my body fat, and it said I was 21 to 22. So I thought, man, I can cut that in half.
Let's talk about how it was that you were evaluating what your percentage of body fat was, and why did you have the impression that you were at 21 or 22%?
Yeah, I definitely didn't use this old gal right here, let me tell you. I used one of those electronic things that you stand there and you hold on to, and then it sends an electrical signal down through your toes and then back up through the thing. And so I hear that it really doesn't test your body fat. It's some kind of calculation where it goes down and fast, and however fast it gets back to you, that's what your body fat is.
It's more of an indication of density as it relates to, I think, because it's in some kind of a signal, and like a radar, like a bat would, to say what's the distance or how thick is that wall there. So the vibration is meant to be a rough guesstimate of your body fat.
So 21 was it? It was
according
not.
to the handheld unit. So Al also was reminiscing on the glory days.
Yeah.
Glory days.
Glory days.
Yeah, so he's talking about, at one time in my existence, I was at 6%. So getting to 10%, which is nearly double that, certainly can't be that much of a challenge.
Attainable, if you will.
How naive we were. And let's talk to you briefly about why that was. Oh my. So the gravity of the situation is setting in right now. Why? Well, let's provide you some examples of where it is that Alan and I will find ourselves when we successfully, and I use that language purposefully, successfully accomplish this challenge.
Bam, son.
Bam, son, right there.
Only this guy.
Looking at this guy.
Too much.
At 9%, good to go. Yep. Green light, no $15,000 checks written. This guy.
Yeah, this guy.
You might be feeling like $1 million. You might be looking like $1 million. You might be $15,000
in the hole.
Poor for it. This guy still no tickets, no dice.
Man.
Tony Horton P90X.
PH, brother.
9%.
Yeah, he rocks at 9%, and I'm sure that's like when they calculate that, I'm sure it's like at a photo shoot where he's dehydrated and all this stuff. So like, not that he's not a cut up dude. However, that dude's still at 9%. Good luck to us.
Okay, so why on earth would we have ever felt like that was obtainable? Well, because in my mind's eye, when I said yes to the wager, I was thinking more like this guy.
Scotty, 29, 6 foot, 188 pounds.
18, or even this guy at 15. Like that to me was in my mind's eye what 10% looked like. It looked like you have a flat stomach, maybe not a six-pack, but you have a flat stomach, you're feeling athletic, you feel healthy, and you're living a healthy lifestyle. I didn't realize that I was going to need to shave my chest and get tanning oil in order to feel like I fit in with the rest of the bodybuilding people of the world, right? I never envisioned myself being that guy, but I'm actually I'm really excited about the idea that that's obtainable, A, and B, that will be a part of my paradigm, that I will be that active and that fit. Okay, let's talk about the interestingness of body fat percentages as it relates to body composition, because they're really two totally different things, are they not?
Yeah.
Okay, so for example, I have no interest in being this guy.
Yeah.
Who's at 6%.
Not that there's anything wrong with
Or
Big
this
Joe.
gentleman here at 6% either.
The walking stick.
Yes, that's not our goal.
Right.
Our goal is to have a little bit of muscle and definition. I mean, this guy is looking very healthy to me.
Right.
Svelte, he's 43 years of age. I'd be very happy to
Be in
look
control of that.
like
Sure.
yeah, like old Thomas there.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
to be kicking that. Now,
Yeah.
let's talk about where we've come from.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Now we're going to talk some specifics about the measurements that we received last time we were here and that kind of a thing. But let's talk about what it looked like. It was right about here.
This guy.
And right about
Jimmy.
here.
Jimmy and Jeff hooking us up.
Jeff and Jimmy have the body types that we walked into this challenge with.
Mm.
And right above him, Zell and Jeannie, how we're going to walk out of this. Before? After.
Yeah.
Let's get there. Let's review. Episode 42,
Yeah.
we came to get our baseline numbers as far as our percentage of body fat,
was a fun-
appropriately enough, at Baseline Fitness.
It was a fun day.
It was a fun day. It was an eye-opening day. It was an educational day. It was a frightening day.
Yeah, that's the key ticket right there.
So we have Ask Baseline Fitness, who keeps a database of all of their customers, to provide us with the data that we received that day. And to review, I was at 27% body fat. Alan was at
28.9%, so 29% body fat.
okay, and I had already started a few of the things that I was going to implement to try to
Right.
get to 10% body fat
Right.
before we got tested here.
Right.
And so my original weight when I weighed in at home to start the entire process was 197.7. On the day that we weighed in here, I weighed in 191.4.
So you'd already lost 6 pounds.
Already lost
before
6 pounds before
we came to the
I
body
came in
pad.
and showed 27% body fat. So I did the math, and if my lean weight was what it was, we'll just say that it was, and I weighed in at 197.7, I started at 29.33% body fat
Right,
when I
so-
began the entire challenge.
So we were basically the same.
Correct.
Right.
Basically the same when we began. So starting from 29%, and we're headed south as quickly as possible.
That's the only way we can go.
The only time that I'm excited to say I'm trying to head south. That may be the winner. All right, so what are we doing to change these numbers, to
Right.
change this? Because there are three different ways that a person could get there. Because percentage body fat is a ratio. We're talking about the body fat that you have in total divided by your total body weight.
Right.
That's percentage of body fat.
Right.
Okay. So you could change any of two variables. You could change the amount of muscle that you have. And so literally, we could maintain exactly the amount of fat that we have today in its entirety. And if we gain just enough muscle, eventually we will be 10% body fat.
Right. Yep.
Now, that would mean that you and I would have to become Lou Ferrigno like overnight as far as putting on that much muscle
Yeah.
by comparison to the amount of fat that we were carrying
That'd be
and
much.
really that we are carrying today.
Sure.
All right. The other thing we could do is we could become Gandhi
We could
and we could shed all of the fat that a
Right.
person has on their body,
become a walking
thereby
stick.
become a walking stick, and as long as you don't lose any muscle, eventually you're going to lose enough fat that eventually your percentage body fat is 10%.
Right.
Now,
At 98 pounds.
we're going to be no doubt. And so what we're going to do is blend the two of those. We're going to have
Right.
to lose some fat. We're going to have to put on some muscle.
Right.
Which are you choosing to do first?
I'm doing the muscle first, and the reason being that your body burns more calories. It's easier, I think, to put on muscle and then to lose weight. I've never tried it, as opposed to
It's a hypothesis,
right, as
right?
opposed
It's
to
not-
your
yeah.
way, which is you're shedding it, getting down to a smaller number, and then going to try to put on some muscle weight.
That's correct. And so we're using different techniques to do there. So what technique are you using in order to put on muscle?
I'm eating gobs and gobs of protein, as much protein as I can get in, and I'm doing, when I'm working out at low reps and high weight, and I'm doing it twice a week. So I'm trying to bulk up as much as I can and not put on too much weight as far as fat weight goes.
Okay, now correct me if I'm wrong, but the theory behind that is you want to break down your muscle strands as much as possible,
Right.
intensely,
Yep.
right? So you're creating all of these vacuums of space in the muscle fiber itself, and then you're eating as much protein as possible to arm your body with as much building blocks as you possibly
Right.
can to fill those gaps in the breakdowns in muscle in
To
order
build
to create
more
more
muscle. Yep.
Right. Okay. So that's specifically the theory behind what it is that
Yeah.
the approach you're taking. I, on the other hand, because I knew that the 60 days between Bod Pods was going to be a really hectic time for me, I knew that I would not remain disciplined to any workout routine at all.
Sure.
And so I knew, though, that I could remain committed to a diet, and I have. So I have introduced the slow carb diet, which Tim Ferriss so beautifully puts before us in the 4-Hour Body text, which is really the impetus behind all
Without
of this.
a
We
doubt.
have to be sure to express that we appreciate Tim because he's given us permission twice. First, to delegate and remove ourselves from the working systems, and secondly, to take control of our own fitness and do it as efficiently and effective as possible. So I have introduced the slow carb diet, and really all I'm eating is protein and vegetables.
Right.
And I do that 6 days a week. So in the morning, I wake up, a couple eggs, some sausage or bacon to go with it just for flavor. And then lunch, we have become absolute regulars at the local Mexican restaurant in our
Yeah.
town, where we get fajitas without tortillas, without guacamole, no sour cream, no cheese, no rice, double beans, a little pico on the lettuce, and no tortilla. I mean,
Yeah.
we order and the guy goes, "What are you eating?"
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know,
He's like, next time just order with just beans.
Right. Yeah,
Okay,
right,
dude.
yeah,
My
sure,
bad.
Yeah. So that's we've become real regulars there. That's lunch. Dinner: chicken breast, broccoli, some vegetables on the Barbie, that kind of a thing. But just real lean,
No carb. I
no
mean,
carb meals. Basically,
yeah.
that's it.
I mean,
Just
there's carbs
anything-
here and
you
there.
gotta check everything for the bag of carbs. The exception that I've done with regard to the slow carb diet is I'm not
Yeah.
eating beans. And I did the slow carb diet with beans for weeks and wasn't seeing the results I wanted. So I removed beans, saw a much higher threshold of how quickly it was that I was shedding the weight.
Right, and you're also taking the PAG. I've been hit or miss on the PAG, but you pretty much religiously have taken the PAG.
Yeah, and get into the 4-Hour Body for the specifics of what PAG is, but it's the supplements that Tim recommends, and in a very specific recipe of
Right.
when and what. And in pagstack.com, what an incredibly
Brilliant.
brilliant
Yeah.
passive income model that was,
Yeah.
to have gotten a hold of the book early, and then they blended it all in one pill. So because the way Tim suggests it, you're buying these 4 different
Right.
supplements in different sources, or you're concocting it yourself. Well,
And
these guys made it simple.
Yeah, because you were taking like 16 pills before.
Right, now you
So-
take 4 pills a day and good to go. So I am doing that, and then I'm also really conscious of not drinking too much red wine. That's it's like the little bit of something that I provide myself once, maybe twice a week at most now, just as a reward for having remained committed 6 days a week to the slow carb. Saturdays, cheat days. Anything you want, baby. Carte blanche, get after it. Like I said, you pour the box of Oreos in the bowl, then you pour the milk on it, and you eat it like cereal. And it's amazing stuff, let me tell you. So I do you proud, Timmy. On Saturdays, I do you proud on the cheat days. But what I have recognized about cheat days, interestingly enough, I think this is a really interesting kind of an anecdote as it relates to the diet, and that is that I've found that a lot of the things that I used to think were good, tasty, interesting kind of desserts or whatever, when I have them on a Saturday, often I'll take 1 or 2 bites and go, man, this is just not good, and B, certainly not worth it.
Sure.
I'm moving on because I only have that one day.
And
like literally, it's not like, well, eat 3 donuts and a bag of Oreos.
Right.
Your body starts to shut down.
You only have so much room in your belly.
You do, and
as
so
well.
much time in a day.
Right, yeah.
And before you can recover to eat more junk food. And so it's like, no, I'm not going to eat the donuts this morning because they're really not that good.
Right.
I'll pass, and instead I'll get straight to some homemade creme brulee.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Bread pudding. Oh, we're making it to die for, bread pudding. And that's the other thing that I found that's been really cool is that there's a lot of pageantry around Saturdays, and so we're making a lot of these delicacies at home.
Sure.
Like we're taking the time. There's some pageantry around. It's like I'm going to make creme brulee. Got the torch and I crust it myself. It's really cool. So anyway, instead of just like store-bought Little Debbie's
Right.
and things of that nature, that so passe. It doesn't even tempt me anymore. You can put it in front of me and I have no interest at all. A homemade something. Now
Good
we're
stuff.
talking. Yeah,
Good
really good stuff. So anyway, that's my story, and I'm very hopeful that I've been successful in my
Yeah.
discipline, and that I'm going to see some dramatic results in the amount of fat that I've shed. Hopefully, my lean muscle mass hasn't reduced along with it, because
Yeah.
I'm not working out at all. Though I look to introduce that here very shortly, and hopefully, Big Al, Hercules,
We're crossing our fingers,
Hercules,
boys and girls.
Hercules.
We are crossing our fingers.
Hey, I think that I've pretty much avoided doing this long enough. Should we get after it? Bod Pod 2.
Over under, here we come.
Nanu.
So we meet again, my friend.
So I've gained 1.4 pounds. I'm supposed to be losing weight. Fruit smuggling 101. Bananas and cherries.
To review, 5 different levels of percentage body fat, correct? Right? And we start with what is the top one?
Risky high.
Risky high. That's basically where Alan and I were before we started.
On the brink.
Yes.
Definitely on the brink of it.
So right beneath that we have
Some excess.
some excess. Pretty much how I like to live my life. Some excess. However, maybe not as it relates to percentage body fat, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Okay.
That is
So
true.
we're trying to get down to
We got acceptable for good health, which is 13 to 20%, and then lean, which is 9 to 12.
yeah. Okay. So here's pretty much how we do live our life. Either some excess or lean, but whatever the
No in between.
the no in between, right? It's all or nothing with the red men. That's the way we roll. So here to share with us exactly how far we've come, Evan.
Yay!
Baseline Fitness. We are so thankful that she's willing to provide us this counsel today and to be on camera as well, because it came with no advance warning. We know that, so we appreciate that. All right, let's get to the nitty gritty.
All right.
Let's do this, girl. I was at 27.
27%.
Let's see how this.
Was at 27. Today you're at 22.1.
Woo! 22.1,
Wow.
doing work. Put your bets on this horse.
No doubt
Always
about it.
on this horse.
No doubt about it.
All right, so what's
you
that mean?
lost 12.8 pounds of weight. Your lean weight's basically the same. It's down a half a pound.
Okay, all right, I can live with that.
Fat weight's down 12.3 pounds. Mm-hmm. That's 2.5 of my big yellow hunks of fat up there.
Ooh.
And that's 4.9% down.
Almost 5. That'd have been so victorious if it said a full 5. 4.9.
That's strong, brother.
Boom.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you.
Hey.
Excited.
That's
Excited about that. Excited about that. Woo.
You always
All
get
right.
the good grade first. Then you'll
Yeah,
get the
that's
asshole
it. All right. So, all right.
All
that's
right,
what we did.
Grant. Then
Oh. Over under. Over under. You about got away with it. Yep. You have to lay the line, or I'll lay the line. You say over under. Ooh. Okay.
That's
All right.
even better.
Yep. Okay. So we started at 28.9. I got the 22.1 from 27, so 4.9.
Let me even give you more. 197 and a half is what I weighed in. I weighed in at 198 and a half over there.
So you've gained 1 pound.
Something like that.
Right.
1.5.
Okay.
somewhere
So
around.
we've either shed some fat and got some muscle, or we have shed a lot of fat and gotten more muscle. Okay. So we're somewhere in there. The goal was 10 pounds of lean muscle mass. Yes, on the prayer. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say percentage body fat is 25.2.
Over, boys, over.
25.2? Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't know, man.
All right.
I hope not. I
All
hope
right.
not.
I wanted to lay the line at 27.
That's where I was going.
Right, yeah, that's where it's going to lay. But I thought that's just me,
Yeah.
like because
No.
I'm rooting for you to win
that's
then.
27.
So
Yeah, that's what I was
okay.
like. Anything
All right.
under 27 is
who
ever.
knows, right?
All right, dude. Give it to
Okay.
me.
All right.
Bad ticket.
Man, look, I said, ooh, yeah, and get in there on the nitty gritty.
27.9.
27.9.
You're down exactly 1%. Your weight's down, or your weight is up 1.42 pounds.
Right.
You did pick up
3 pounds of muscle.
That's all.
3 pounds of muscle, son.
That
Doing
is
work?
Not bad at all. So body fat's down about 1.4 pounds. So it made a change of 1% down.
I need PAG.
But let's talk about this a little bit too. Your strength, however,
Yeah.
has changed by how much?
Yeah, I'm the strongest in my life right now.
Right.
Even
so
when I
you're
was playing college baseball, I'm the strongest that I've ever been in my life.
right. So you're benching weights that
Yeah.
you've never benched before.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
lifting
Yeah.
weights you've never lifted before. You've put on 3 pounds of muscle in order to create that strength.
Yeah.
So strength is not always related to muscle as it relates to meaning 3 pounds doesn't necessarily
Right.
mean that, you know,
Right, you're
just
going
by adding 3 pounds, you
yeah.
can add 100 pounds to your bench, but you might be able to add 100 pounds to your bench without changing your body composition all that much, right? So
Correct.
that is, we're not equating strength with body composition. And what's of importance to us right now is body composition, not strength.
Yep.
And your diet, you're getting a lot more protein in, and that's going to help with your strength.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes a big difference.
Yeah. All right, dude.
Okay, well,
We both went down.
circle back. We did. We both went down. That's right. We're closer to goal, and
Yeah.
we still have that same goal. So
Yeah.
and we still have plenty of time to accomplish it. That's the other good news
That's
as
true.
well. Because originally we were a little fearful that the calendar had already was not working out in our favor. That it was nearly impossible to have accomplished in that short period of time. But there's plenty of the year left for us to both get there. So we'll change tactics and continue.
All right, Ren Minions, what did we learn today? We learned nothing. That's what we learned.
We learned bet on this horse in the early going. I'm out the gate even, getting to the first corner of a 1.25 mile
Yeah,
track.
you're-
On the first turn, down 5%.
That's true.
I'm
I
gonna
mean-
go ahead and round up. I'm gonna be that man. Gonna be that guy.
So you're like at 22, so I mean, you're like close to half of what you need to lose now. You've finally reached that goal. What we thought was our original
right,
goal.
needing to get to 20% in order then to lose another half. Yeah.
Right.
It's really interesting how much work this is going to be.
Oh, man.
But I am as equally excited by how enthusiastic it is that I'm receiving this. Like I've surprised myself with how much this is becoming fun, how much I'm enjoying learning about food, nutrition, and my body, and by how much I'm taking possession and ownership of that.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas before, I really just ate when noon came and when 5 o'clock came, and I
Sure.
ate really whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. And now it's nice to know that I'm going to be providing my body the nutrition that it needs to live a little longer than it would have otherwise.
And to feel better.
And to look better. So I like all of those things.
Yeah.
I like all the ingredients in that recipe.
Right. And like Evan said, no cardio. Big tickets.
Big tickets,
no cardio.
Until next time, watch,
Learn.
comment.